In this video, we will examine narcolepsy, which is a debilitating sleep disorder that is characterized by excessive daytime sleepiness, sleep paralysis, hypnagogic hallucinations, and cataplexy. This is Alex. He is a college student at UC Berkeley, and although he does not know it yet, he is suffering from narcolepsy. Ever since he came to college, he began to notice changes to his sleeping behavior. He complains that he constantly feels fatigued, especially during the day, which makes it incredibly difficult for him to stay awake in his lectures. As a result of his inability to stay awake during the day, his grades have also begun to take a hit. Not only is he always tired during the day, but also his quality of sleep has declined, and he reports having strange dreams upon falling asleep. In one instance, he remembers dozing off in math class and dreaming of centipedes crawling all over his body. These disturbing dreams have only increased in frequency, and Alex has begun to dread sleeping. Just this past weekend, Alex and a couple of his friends went to a house party. He was having a good time, but suddenly, at the peak of all the excitement, Alex felt like he could not move his legs, as if they had become like stone. He toppled forward, and if it were not for his good friend Justin who steadied him, he would have fallen onto the floor. A couple of his friends noticed a change in his personality as well. Whereas before he was energetic and alert, now he was lethargic and depressed. One night, Alex suffers another paralysis attack. He awakes in a cold fright and tries to get up, but his whole body is paralyzed. He sees dark shadows across the wall, and what looks to be a figure looming above him. He screams, but no sound comes out of his mouth. The next morning, Alex pays a visit to the Tang Center, where a physician listens to his concerns and eventually diagnoses him with narcolepsy. Alex is relieved to finally know what is afflicting him, but wants to know how this will affect his life and his academics. The doctor tells him that although narcolepsy is a serious disorder, all hope is not lost. He writes him a prescription for antidepressants, which can help reduce the frequency of his cataplectic attacks. Now, let us examine some of the clues that indicate a person may be suffering from narcolepsy. One of the defining traits of narcolepsy is excessive daytime sleepiness, or EDS. People who have EDS tend to have trouble staying awake during the day, even when they receive sufficient sleep the night before. In some instances, people with EDS report falling asleep while actively participating in sports. In our case study, Alex struggles to stay awake in his classes, and his inability to pay attention begins to impact his grades. Another feature of narcolepsy is hypnagogic hallucinations. Hypnagogic hallucinations are extremely vivid and disturbing dreams that occur to a person upon falling asleep. It is often difficult to separate these dreams from reality. In Alex's case, he recounts one instance where he has a hypnagogic hallucination that bugs are crawling all over him, when in reality they are not. This dream was especially traumatizing to him because he has a deep fear of centipedes. It is important to note the difference between nightmares, night terrors, and hypnagogic dreams. Whereas the former occur in the later stages of the sleep cycle, hypnagogic dreams can occur as soon as a person falls asleep. These dreams are a strong indicator that a patient may have narcolepsy. Perhaps nothing is more terrifying than sleep paralysis, the state in which a person is awake but his or her body is completely immobilized. Although sleep paralysis is a natural process of REM sleep, sometimes this process can go awry when a person transitions from sleep to wakefulness, but their body remains paralyzed. In Alex's case, he reports seeing a dark figure looming above him, which aligns closely with what others who have experienced sleep paralysis report. It is important to note that the average person who does not have a sleep disorder will likely experience at least one sleep paralysis episode in his or her life. But the key difference here is that a narcoleptic will experience these episodes with a regular frequency. The last feature and the clearest indication of narcolepsy is cataplexy. What is cataplexy? According to the National Sleep Foundation, cataplexy is a sudden and uncontrollable muscle weakness or paralysis that comes on during the day and is often triggered by a strong emotion such as excitement or laughter. It occurs in both animals and humans. Returning back to our case study, Alex recounts a time when he suddenly lost control of his legs and almost fell to the ground while at a house party. Alex appears to have experienced partial paralysis of his legs, triggered by the excitement of the party. This closely aligns with the symptomology of narcolepsy. Now that we have a better understanding of what narcolepsy looks like, let us now examine some possible causes. One explanation of narcolepsy that is widely accepted is that it is caused by the death of cells that produce an important neurochemical called orexin. Orexin acts as the brain's on and off switch, regulating the information that travels from the brainstem to the cortex. In the brains of people with narcolepsy, there is a significant reduction of the cells that produce orexin when compared to the brains of healthy individuals.